Alright, so hello viewers and welcome back to our campaign in War of the West. It is now turn number 3, the turn resolution finished, and well, it looks like the air loss is 4. The Axis continues with them losing quite a few fighters, quite a few Italian planes now. I'm guessing that they're starting to run out of fighters and all that. Well, we only took 6 losses during their air phase. So this is quite nice. They didn't really lose too much during movement, or at least we don't know about their losses during movement. And oh, would you look at that? There is some rain that's coming in, and this will actually affect how your planes run, how your ground forces fight. So from the looks of that, and from the looks of the rain being over our air bases, this might affect our airplanes slightly, or not as much as it being over the battlefield. But that'll be that. Right, so let's get another set of missions set up here for the air phase. What should we do here? What should we do? So actually, this looks pretty good for what it's worth. I want less priorities on ports and other things. I want more priority on actually finding enemy units is the thing. So we'll get Interdiction and that set up. And the ground attack, of course, is going to come through here. I'm going to reduce this target priority or target space to 1 hex, and I just want to hit this one location for what it's worth. So none of that. I wanted to hit I wanted to hit the unit specifically and do some minor interdiction if they get the chance, and we'll bump that up to high. So now, do we have any major units? No, we don't. Right. So at this point, what we can do is that we can actually repurpose some of these P-40 INs to a bomber role, as I think we've seen once before. So we can switch their mission to bomber, but they're trained as fighters. The thing about these planes is that if they're say trained as bombers and they switch to fighters, where they're fighters and they switch to bombers, they lose, I believe, 20% efficiency in their missions. But nevertheless, I would much rather have let's see, 72, so about 148 or 144 more bombs than say the other setting. So we'll try to do something like that. Yeah, do they carry 2 bombs each? Something like that. Either way, so we'll get them set up. We'll put some minor planes in escort role for them, and they should be running that attack mission exclusively. Likewise, taking a look at the ground attack for strategic air force, they're not going to prioritize airfields anymore. They're going to try to hit ports and ferries, and then afterwards they'll try to interdict as best as they can. And yeah, they're going to fly their missions just like that. And that'll be pretty much all we have, actually. One other thing, just adjust these, put that right there. Or, you know what, we could probably try to get something like that, some nice coverage, even above our front. So we'll try to do something like that, and we will let the planes roll. Right, so there we go. We're gonna take a lot of losses from, oddly enough, air combat today. I'm guessing that's because we're trying to bomb the southernmost portion of Italy proper. And there. So the reports come back. What has happened? Right, so yes, Strategic Air Force took the brunt of the blow, more or less, because they are doing a whole bunch of interdict missions in Italy, nice and proper. So we switch on to air mode. Yeah, they bombed the back portion of the place here, and unfortunately, what are they being intercepted by? They still have a few BF-109s. And unfortunately, our air cover is not enough. So there's still some Axis air reserves, but if you notice over here, everything past Messina over here in Sicily seems to be lightly defended. So we're only seeing small groups defending this area right here. Right. So we're going to introduce a new thing here. If we press, I believe, Shift in, if not, that's not the hotkey, we can go to info screens and we can take a look at the logistics log here, which tells us a lot about what has happened during the resupplyment of our troops here. So this is quite a useful tool because we're only playing with the Italian campaign. I think what happens is that in the background, the AI plays a abstracted version, if you will, of the other fronts. So for example, there's some minor damage on German resource production happening here. We'll try to ignore those portions that we don't have direct control of, like for example the Eastern Front and all that. The main thing that we want to take a look at is freight. Simply said, how much supply replacements are required, how much supplies are needed, and how much are received and how much is lost. So overall, this gives us quite a hefty log for all of the different shipping and all that. Most of it we probably won't take a look at for the vast majority of things. The main thing that we want to check is just odd bits, such as say for example this section right here in terms of yeah, the replacements and all that. So what else? Air execution, a lot of missions are conducted, partisan raids, population replacements. Replacements are also kind of neat. So yeah, 60 damaged armored fighting vehicles are repaired, 16 however were not. Nothing in ammo, nothing in any of these things, so that is good. And supply should have a lot. So yeah, that'll tell us some more about shipping. And is there anything particularly notable? Not really. So we'll just do that. Take a look at withdrawals. Take a look at some stuff for production. And this will show us how much stuff we've rather the game manufactures for us passively. The main thing is that we produce right around, yeah, we produce right around like 20 or so, 20 or 25 of these Shermans every now and then, so that's good. We're actually producing a lot of these Wolverine tank destroyers, which is quite interesting. And we're producing a few Stuart tanks. We're producing over 100 Stuart tanks, so overall this is pretty good. And oh yes, loss by phases. This is kind of important. So this will tell us how much the Axis loses when they're retreating, when they're moving through attrition, and with interdiction factoring into that, it is quite important. Though another thing is that it looks like our bombing attempts weren't as successful as well we would like them to be, because only 14 units of interdiction were generated through 15 missions here. So let's see, what should we do? How are our ports? Our ports are cleared from enemy air, so that's good. And these ports are slowly repairing, so support where supply throughput will gradually get to them. Right, so I want to bust the city, or as best as I can. I should get the armored core moving through here. And hopefully I want to, yeah, just push these Italian coastal divisions out. Once they're in open terrain, we should be able to just, yeah, shatter them. And now these, the 2nd U.S. Armored Division is going to use, yeah, quite a rest, seeing as how their fatigue levels are all up from capturing the city. But their efforts aren't in vain because they managed to get us a brand new port. So they'll do that. I'll use some of the minor units to try to push back the Italians and try to clear these railway tiles of well, enemy control. And then I'm going to try to get our guys to put some pressure by first and foremost following the German front. And I want 2nd U.S. Corps to try to capture Palermo as fast as possible. So that's that. Over here, we're going to launch another attack on these guys, hopefully do some damage, and hey, would you look at that, we managed to break them. So taking a look at this battle, one of the things is that, well, the enemy does take cumulative fatigue, in the sense that if they have too much fatigue, they're not going to be able to fully, you know, rest that off during their turn. And from the looks of it, let's see what has happened. So we took a look at ground losses, our airplanes coming in through both ground support And the previous bombings will rack up a few disruptive losses and all that, though I believe this column in particular only deals with the planes that were actively involved in this battle here. So what has happened? They have 26 Panzer H's now. They lost a few of them, which isn't all too great. They lost 4 Tigers, which is all right, though not a lot of troops have been killed off here. What did they lose a lot of, though? They lost a lot of SP flak. Okay, they lost some of their artillery, which is good. Oh, in terms of artillery, as you may have noticed, we have a lot of artillery regiments. It's one of the things that the Allies do very well once again. So that is good, but the vast majority of their losses are in support vehicles, which just simply transfer supply. What did we lose a lot of? We lost 22 Sherman 3s. That's not very good. And a lot of rifle sections and carrier sections, so that's not too bad. Right. So in that case, let's see. Yeah, this Panzer regiment over here is almost completely depleted, which is nice. Let's see, which one of our tank units? It looks like the Canadian Corps of Tanks is actually the most ready one. So we'll send them out, and we'll send up whichever infantry unit has the highest attack and the highest movement left. Actually, you know what? We can probably stack it up like this. We'll trade the highest one for ones with more movement, so we can launch a deliberate attack, push back those tanks, nab 20 or 14 of them, and hope that one of our armored units here, or one of our units here, can push forwards one more tile. No? Alright. Right, so taking a look at this battle right here. Picked up 14 more tanks. Air support came in. Or actually, no air support during that battle. So the only disruption was caused by our guys. The losses are good though. Let's see. So yeah, half of their Panzer H's are gone. They should have 35 of them per battalion, I believe. So with that said, this troop is heavily depleted. They lost a lot of their vehicles, almost a quarter of them. And for support, they didn't lose all too much, but they do. Yeah, they have lost a lot of tanks. So this is good. I'm checking up on our losses doing this. How much did we lose? We lost. Oh, not hits. Losses. We lost only 3 Shermans, so this is very good. It would be better if we were able to follow those guys up, but that is going to be the end of this turn. And that'll be that. So now the main thing is just simply slowing them down as they pull back and hopefully surrounding the stragglers that stay behind the defend. Yeah, they're going to train some more pilots now, and as you can see, 12 or 11 losses only in training losses, where they, as they say, operational losses, which isn't that much. For now, at least. They're going to pull back, they're going to take some interdiction going over the crossing and into the main land, but oh, it looks like they left 1 unit of tanks, so that would be pretty good. And our supplies are going to go through, and there we go, back in our turn. So let's see, what have they lost crossing? I don't know if this is a perfect report as to what has happened during the turn, but they lost 27 units moving through that area to the best of our knowledge, and 18 guns and a lot of people. So this is good. They looks like we found 5 Tigers destroyed passively, so this is good. A lot of Panzer Gs, which aren't as great, and a few Panzer IIIs, so that's that. Lots of vehicles, no cargo ships sunk, and no support ships lost. So that is that. And, oh, actually, they took 68 losses in aircraft somehow. Right, so let's see. They seem to have left some units here. They left, yeah, one portion of their Panzer division back over here, We have minor interdiction going over the crossing over here, so we were able to, yeah, so that might have contributed to some of the losses they suffered. But the vast majority of their guys are backed on their land on Italy proper now. So now I think it's time to move some of our air forces around, and the reason why we're capturing Italy is actually more or less just to get some staging bases to conduct further operations. Catching the Germans on Sicily is it's quite a difficult thing in the game, especially when this ferry crate crossing is so heavily defended by AA. So, introducing a few more things here this turn. What we want to do is we can check some of the metrics that the game gives us. So, for example, taking a look at some of their losses, we can see their victory points in that. We can see total ready things, and this is a very useful game tool here. So one of the things I want to check is perhaps total ready aircraft, and as we see right here, we gain well, quite a large amount of aircraft, whereas theirs kind of stays constant given I believe a mixture of repairs and other things. So that is that. Taking a look at total ready AFEs, they seem to have gained some of those back there. In terms of air losses, yeah, both of those plummet. And taking a look at, well, sorties per one loss, our thing jumps up quite high like that. And taking a look at training flight losses, yeah, as you can see, after the first turn, they needed to replace a lot of pilots, so their training flight losses go up substantially. And mind you, even after these pilots finish training, of course, they're not really that great. So that is that situation. Right, so moving forwards, here's what we're going to do. We're going to move a few aircraft around, but my idea is to get tactical air force based onto Sicily as best as we can. We're going to keep strategic air force in North Africa for now, given the fact that they are just simply too cumbersome to move. They're going to take up so much supply that it's not going to be worth moving them around. So with that said, what we need to do now is that with these captured air bases, I'm going to convert a few of these to tactical air forces control, and we're going to start to base a few reconnaissance planes onto these guys. So hopefully I'll be able to do this as a mass action, but if not, we'll just have to set it up so that I want the southern part of Italy here to function as a tactical air force. This is locations for now, and what I'm checking here for is the fact that they have supply priority, the fact that they're under tactical air force control, and hopefully they won't be damaged in any shape or form. So there we go, we got those things set up. Forgot to check the supply throughput on that. That one's at 0, so we have to put that on at least a value of 1. Supply priority can go up to 4, and has a minimum of well, 0, 0 being that it has no supply well, throughput. So there we go. Right, so now the Air Force should be able to rebase there, all right. And with that said, here's what we're going to do. If we take a look at these overlays, as we've seen before, planes are listed as first it gives us the name of the squadron and all that, and also the types of fighter bombers, tactical bombers, and all that. Currently, the main thing is that I want to find our reconnaissance planes. I want to try to push those forwards, simply because those seem to be very important. So we have a few of these PR recon flights and some transferred flights, oddly enough. So we're going to grab all of these and we're going to try to base them as far forwards as possible. Right, so let's see. These are pure fighters. Do we have any more recon? Yep. And again, we just really want to push forwards these reconnaissance planes. So that should give us some coverage up here in the following turns. And now I'm going to transfer some fighter bombers behind them. And the airfields do have sizes, as you may have noticed. Some of these are dual runway ones. Some of these are only one strip ones. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to avoid overloading them, as you see this one is. So we'll try to space them out like that. And I don't know if we can put tactical bombers there just yet, so I think I'll keep off doing that. Ooh, this one can't actually sustain 3. Guess I'll try to move one of these squads forward just like that. And we'll, yeah, so now Tactical Air Force will have some guys right over here, which is quite nice. The thing about this is that it looks like we're starting to build up some supplies inside our ports, so this'll hopefully sustain those airfields. And well, now what we should be able to do is that I am going to cancel this recon mission. I'm going to get it to reset its mission so that it recognizes that the fact that we have new airfields over here. And now, yeah, so now these missions will come from here. I'm going to get Recon to start some missions inside this area. And I want them to take a look at, let's see. I want them to take a look at the hex, the upper hexes over here. I think we'll just try to move that up one more. There we go. I'm going to change the path so that we don't run over all too many enemy air guns. And now I want them to check out, well, interdiction as a minor thing. I want them to check out units and airfields and a minor priority on railways as well. So they'll try to do that. And I'll try to decrease the altitude to something so that hopefully the other planes will be able to join in. But it looks like, well, looks like the other planes are actually all unavailable, which is rather unfortunate. Right, so in that case, we'll send these guys out. They'll take a look at that area. And now for bombings and missions and all that. What should we do? What should we do? Let's see. Going to try to push up our air interdiction. I want to try to get air superiority inside the ferry crossing over here. So with that said, I'm gonna throw the airplanes in this general area. And I know for a fact that the AI really likes to schedule a mission. A air control mission for this area, so I'm going to try to push up some of our guys just like that. Let's see, actually no planes can actually reach there, seeing as how we just rebased them. So in that case, let's see, we're still going to get them to do ground support. We're actually going to change this mission, this ground attack mission. I want them to hit this area right over here. I want them to hit the city here. Going to change their starting base to hopefully over here. See what planes are active, because we rebase our planes, not very many of them are functional just yet. We'll get them to bomb units with 40 planes. That's really all they have. So yeah, that'll be that. Right. So the front in this, like right now, is starting to stabilize to some extent. So with that said, we're going to plot the next run of landing missions here shortly after. So we'll fire off these mission objectives, and we'll see how well they go. Actually, where this recon mission didn't set up properly. Let's put this over here, put this to 4, get it to cover all of this area, and I want it to target units, railways, in there. And for Strategic Air Force, we'll change this, seeing as how they, yeah, they aren't really focused in that area anymore. And now I'm going to try to get them to, let's see if I can bring up any more intel on where flak guns are. I'm going to get them to go into this area for the first 3 days. We'll bump up the altitude. And now the thing is that we want them to now target airfields with a high priority and railways with a minor priority, because I want to try to slow down supplies going to the troops over here. I doubt interdiction will be all too effective here. Right, so we'll get that done, and we'll get the planes to run their missions. And now this will be a mixture trying to pretty much just cancel out their missions, try to bait out their fighters in the strait over here where the ferry is, and the bombers will hopefully do some damage here and there. So let's see what they've done. Right, so they hit a lot of railway targets. I'm guessing they didn't know all too much about where the enemy airplanes are actually stored out of those airfields, so they did that. Recon went in with only a few planes, so they were only able to take a look at railways, so that's kind of why no bombing runs went through on the airfields. That's fine. And ground attack managed to launch quite a few sorties over here against those units, and hopefully that managed to do something, though it doesn't look like they didn't really increase the points all too much. Right. So moving onwards, let's get a amphibious landing set up. And what I want to do here is that I want to bring the rest of the core part of 7th Army over here and the British force to somewhere along the coast of Italy. So I'm going to get them to set new amphibious targets, and what this will mean is that this will get our forces here different objectives to try to this will get them to prepare for an amphibious landing at a location. And what I'm trying to do with these guys is that we're going to need one of these transports to shuttle the troops from Sicily. So we'll keep one of them unoccupied, and the rest we're gonna send to, I'm gonna say this landing spot right over there. And we'll try to get the British to do something similar. And as you may have noticed, one of the themes here is that we want to try to land behind the Axis lines. And we'll try to trap whatever is left over there. So that'll get that done. In the meantime, let's see. Take a look at the supply throughput again. 2 ports have been captured. These ones are starting to get repaired. Some of these ones are starting to get shipments, so this is good. And the railway network, let's see, is starting to get constructed too. Right. So let's see what we can do about busting through here, through these areas. So we'll try to grab these guys. Looks like we'll have to launch an attack next time. In that case, I think we'll get our guys to stack up. Get some infantry to go behind these guys, isolate the remnants over here that the Axis have left. And we'll try to get some of these tanks to go forwards here. See what else is left on the continent. Get the infantry to push up. Tanks do the same thing, and the Canadian Corps will, I guess, just continue isolating these guys, and we'll get command to move up as well. So there. At this point, let's get our guys to attack. See how much damage we can do to these guys out of command. We're isolated, that is. And over here, same thing. Launch a deliberate attack. Try and see whether or not we can bunker blast whoever is left here. And no, that's going to be quite a tough target. So I think that is this land turn at a glance. So see you guys next time.